You can hear me?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Why my okay, one sec.
Oh, hang on. These are noise cancelling headphones. They just don't work quite as well without the noise cancelling on them. Fortunately, I can't cancel your fucking noise. I.e. the noise of you talking.
No, I know, I understand.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect anything different, would you?
No, I know.
In fact, you'd be disappointed. Right, let me sort.
If you don't insult me from the beginning, there's something which is missing, and I feel my heart is waiting for something.
Your heart is empty.
My heart is empty without your insults.
Okay. Well, I am now recording.
One sec.
And I'm going to slip my socks off.
One sec. I'm doing this.
Just for the ladies, I am now sockless.
Oh, here we go. But I don't know why. Ah, shit.
Yeah.
This software is shit. Are you recording the video as well?
Yes, I am.
Okay, one sec. Give me 1 second.
Oh.
Before you do all your I sense some anger and I can see your face right now. You can lick the microphone now? You want to lick the microphone? No. No, I cannot hear you. I cannot hear you. Your mic, if you want to, if you just plug your mic.
Shut up.
Oh, here we go. So you're still playing with the mute button. Okay.
No, well, I'm not playing. Go on, you go. I'll talk. I'll fill the void while you go away.
Just for 2 seconds.
Yeah, well, fuck off then. Just do it. You don't need any more explanation. Just do it. And while he's gone, I will enter. It really was 2 seconds, for fuck's sake. You didn't even need to tell me that, did you? You didn't even need to tell me. So he can't hear me now. For anybody that's just listening,
here we are.
He wants to play his guitar.
No, I don't want to play this guitar. I want to show this guitar, actually.
That's great on the podcast.
Can you see that? No, but there's a video, actually. No?
Yeah.
Are you recording a video?
Yeah,
okay.
it's a guitar.
So, and I will... No, it's not a guitar. This is not a guitar. This is the latest guitar that I've just received from a luthier, right? And it is made...
chocolate, maybe?
No, not chocolate. It's dynamite crate, made on dynamite crate. Look at that. This is a beauty.
You're a fucking idiot.
I'm not an idiot. This is. I received this on Monday, and the guy who made that is a pilot. He's working for UPS.
Are you sure he's not a pirate if he used...
No, it's a...
No, he's probably a pirate if he used dynamite crate. When you play that guitar and you first hit a string, because it goes, ah.
Yeah, I should do it.
Let's see it. Ah.
Well, it's an electric guitar, so I should plug it. But there's a very interesting story behind that, because the guy is a luthier, but he's also
interesting to you or anybody else.
There's a point I'm coming to that. Okay. I'm trying to come with something interesting here. So the guy is a pilot and he's a luthier. And the guy his name is Kurt Sean, right? And he lives in the US. And his passion is building guitar, but he has to live as well. He has to eat. So he's also a pilot for UPS, right? And he was going to, as a pilot, he goes to Asia. And he loads his plane full of crap like iPads, iPhones, all these gadgets for all the masses. And he did the first stop from Asia. He did the first stop to Dubai, and he brought this guitar to me. And we had a dinner and everything. And he explained me that his real passion, what he loves to do is guitar, building guitars, but he cannot live from it. He cannot live from making these beautiful things. It's amazing, actually. It's one of the best guitars that I have. But he has to have a work. So he makes 5 guitars per year. And Johnny Depp has one of his guitar. Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top has one of his guitars as well. And you could see the guy, is so passionate about building that. And is so meticulous and put all the man hours doing this. And that's not enough. To make a living, that's not enough for him. He has to be a pilot as well. So, but he has hope actually. He has hope, and he wants one day to be able to do this. As a full-time living. So anyway, that was my story. Interesting story.
Yeah, it was interesting. No, it was interesting. First of all, he obviously is a pirate. If he was loading up with iPads and stuff like that, that's his bounty. If you'd have looked closely, you would have noticed the parrot on his shoulder, but you were probably too enamoured with Pirate Boy. But here's the thing. I don't think the one thing I try to avoid with this podcast, and by the way, you may wonder, is Tim drinking piss? It's actually wine. I had a client earlier on, and I only had two clients booked in today because obviously I scheduled the time out for us to talk. And my later client has had to rearrange, so I'm now client free for the day. So I thought, for the first time ever on this podcast, fuck you, I'm going to have a drink as well. I wouldn't normally drink at 1:45 in the afternoon, but it's as my father-in-law says, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Yeah.
So cheers, man.
That looks like Hoegaarden you're drinking.
It's a Hoegaarden. It's a Belgian.
Okay. So anyway, let me go back to your guy. Because I think this is.
We don't cheer. We don't.
Oh, sorry, mate. Cheers.
Fuck, yeah, man. Cheers.
Cheers, my Gallic friend.
My Brit friend.
Yeah. My Asterix the Gaul-loving friend. I used to love fucking Asterix the Gaul. I didn't used to love. That sounds terrible. I said I used to love fucking Asterix the Gaul. It's a cartoon. I never once fucked Obelisk maybe or Dogmatics, not Asterix, not Dogmatics. He was cute, fluffy little fella.
You know what? I've just heard I love fucking Asterix. But that's
enough on its own, isn't it? Yeah.
It's not a nice picture right now in my mind.
No, it's not.
So what?
Yeah, because it's kind of like, is it the Roman cartoon character, or is it an Asterix, which would be even weirder, And anyway, okay, so let me go back to your guy, and like I say, I try to be as unopinionated and level-headed as possible, and he's a fucking idiot. He is. He's an idiot. If he's selling guitars to ZZ Top and Johnny Depp, then he could be charging a lot more than he's charging. The fact that I know you're a rich fucker because you work in Dubai and you've probably got a couple of your own oil wells or whatever. But how much money does he need? How many more guitars could he make? If he knew anything about marketing, you put on your website, guitars bought by Johnny Depp, ZZ Top and some French twat. People. God, I keep forgetting I can't say twat, but I do have to say this every time. It's the English version of twat. It's not the American twat, which is very naughty and gender specific. This is just a general term of love in England.
I think when you say this to me, actually, I feel like it's home. I feel like loved. Like the way that you say it very gently and nicely.
I know.
Thank you.
But seriously, if it was your client as a coach, you wouldn't say anything like that because it would be incredibly unprofessional. But in the back of your mind,
seriously, sure, that would be very unprofessional.
Oh, a Frenchman with sarcasm, the most dangerous beast on the on the face of the planet.
Yeah, but wasn't very sarcastic as well. I mean,
Anyway,
but
how much did you pay for that guitar?
I paid 3,200. So you multiply this by 5. So it's about
3,200 what? 3,000.
About 16,000 a year. This is what he makes on top of his job of UPS. And
well, hang on, just back up.
Mm-hmm.
Back it up. Let me begin. I'm about to go into hip hop mode. Yeah. Was that Jump Around, wasn't it? Was it Cypress Hill? I can't remember. Cypress Hill. Cypress Hill, yeah. Are you sure it was Cypress Hill or not? House of Pain.
No.
It might have been.
I think it's... No, you're right. Okay, so
I think it was House of Pain. It was Jump Around, wasn't it?
Pain.
Although I do like Cypress Hill. Anyway, I'm trying to sound young now.
Jump Around, House of Pain.
Yeah, House of Pain. Okay, so anyway,
Shit, I'm supposed to have the references, the musical references, and there's two episodes now.
Dude,
But you just slashed me
I
with the
owned a
jam.
record store for
You what?
almost 10 years. I owned a record store for almost 10 years. So
I
music.
never knew that.
No, well, probably because I've
God,
never told
suddenly
you.
you become cooler.
Cool. Is that possible? That suggests I may have been slightly cool in the first place. You could have said just you're a bit cool, whatever.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
now,
I
now
had
you're
a
cooler. I
record
look at
store.
with love now in my eyes. Look at me now. Oh.
I was massively into music. Anybody that sets up a record store with absolutely no knowledge. If you see programs like, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, but other people may be, the Robert Irvine Restaurant Impossible, and he goes in there and says, "What experience have you had in the restaurant industry?" And they always say none. And he looks at him like, "What the fuck were you doing starting a restaurant?" When we opened our record store, this is how clueless we were. I was looking in Yellow Pages for places to buy records from because none of the major distributors would supply to us at the time. I mean, they did eventually. So we were just, but we did it through, or I did it through a love of music. And I brought another guy in who worked there full time and I worked part time. But we can get back to
I think this is where we get along. Actually, there's a musical trend here. There's man behind.
And
it reminds me of the Nick Hornby book. What was the Nick Hornby book?
High Fidelity.
High Fidelity.
Yeah.
Shit. My references sucks. I don't have memory.
And there was a movie. Was it Empire? Something or other was similar. I can't remember. I could be.
Okay, so go back to the guy who is an idiot.
Yeah. So, and I use the word idiot, in terms of, he's obviously not an idiot. He's a pilot and he can make guitars, so he's probably far more intelligent than I am. But as a coach, I look at that and I think, so he charged you 3,000. Was that euros?
No, $3,200.
Okay.
US.
So he's way underpitching his product. I'm surprised he sold to Johnny Depp, and I'll tell you for why. Because he's too cheap. And if he will probably. So there's a guy. All right, let me. I know you're shaking your head, and you can come back on this in a moment. So you're familiar with Jonathan Fields, aren't you? Jonathan Fields. Anyway, Jonathan Fields is a marketing guy, super nice person. He actually gave me an hour of his time when I first started up and chatted to me and wouldn't charge me for it and consultancy. Love him to bits. He's very keen into guitars himself, and he makes them. And he ran an interview, and I'm going back probably 2 or 3 years now, and I can't remember the guy's name. I'm sure it will be on his website because he runs two. It's either jonathanfields.com or the other one is the Good Life Project. And he interviewed this guy who makes guitars for a living. Except if you want a guitar off him, you're going to have to wait about, I think it was about 2.5 to 3 years. And there's this and everyone obviously is handmade, handcrafted, just I guess like your guy, especially when he's using dynamite boxes, etc. But he charges a massive premium. It's like you can't buy these things for less than 20, 30 grand or whatever. And again, I'm not sure on the figure, but it was enough. And he turns out, God, I'm guessing at everything here because it was, like I say, it's a while since I read it, but I think he turned out about 8 to 10 a year or something. But there was enough money in them. So if he's selling, you think about if he can do 5 a year at 3 grand. Yeah, I wonder how much he's paying himself an hour.
I'm not sure a lot, but you know what? I think there's something more. And this is where I'm shaking my head. Because actually what he does, the prices of his guitars, and I have others over there which are custom built as well by a small luthier as well, just like him. But him is a niche. The niche is take woods from barns, from old ship,
right,
from dynamite crates. So it's very particular niche, and actually,
sure, it's cool.
It's extremely cool, and I like this old aging effect. But for him, it's what can I say? It's more like a heart, and the price for this is actually similar. It's this brand this is the range price between $3,000, $4,000. This is what you get for a Gibson Les Paul or a Fender, very, very, very good one, handmade as well. So it's The price range is fine actually. The funny thing is I'm not a professional musician, right? And the people who can buy this stuff, are not musicians, are people like me who are aspiring to be musician. And one of the funny story that he told me is Tom Waits doesn't buy his guitars or all these big names, well, except for Billy Gibbons from ZZ Tops, but all the ones that are buying these guitars are bankers. Johnny Depp, because Johnny Depp is an actor, but his real, what he really wants to do is to play.
He's in the band, isn't he, Johnny Depp, I think?
Yeah, but he wants to play guitar. He wants to be a rolling. He wants to be Keith Richards, really. This is what he really wants. So all the guys are frustrated guy like me. Like people who have this. I would like to be a Jimmy Page on the guitar, and they don't have the fucking talent to do it. So the only thing is kind of like putting the money to buy the things here and just to have the kind of illusion of grandeur, I guess. But the real talented musician, the young ones, they don't have the money to buy these guitars. And that sucks, man. That sucks. That sucks a lot.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with that. Let's not get into socialism because I've been beaten over the head with that recently.
Oh, man. I read this post, that you wrote about Jesus Christ being a socialist or something like that. But you're looking for that, I think. You're looking for this kind of...
I mean, that's not what I'm talking about. But
this one?
I did. Let me go back. Let me just go back a little bit with this guy. Yeah. And I got a phone call about a week ago from another life coach, local to me, somebody who I met. Mm-hmm. On a workshop probably about 6-7 years ago now. He'd actually forgotten he'd met me, which is understandable.
How could he?
I know, I'm very forgettable because he said, "Oh, have we met?" I said, "Yeah, I met you at this event. Your wife was there, and blah blah blah." And we talked about, and he'd forgotten. But anyway, he basically phoned me to tell me I was too cheap, and saying that he charged 50 grand to work with a client. And
how much? Sorry,
50 grand.
15.
50. 50,000. And we had this long conversation.
An hour?
No, hour per client.
Oh.
And we had this conversation in which I basically said, but I actually don't want to just work with wealthy people. I don't want to price out. I really like it when people maybe push themselves to work with me, but I don't want anybody to bankrupt themselves. He took pleasure in telling me just taking a client on who was paying him 50 grand that only earned 75 grand a year. Now to me, so this guy's borrowing the money to hire him. It's like, you have so got to fucking deliver because you could financially wreck the guy for the next 10 years. And your delivery is not just dependent on you anyway. As a coach, we can do the best job with the client and not get the results we want. Because it's just it's a complicated dynamic. So I get that the point I'm trying to make with that is I get that he wants to be affordable, or that people like yourself that maybe haven't got 50 grand to spend on a guitar or whatever can afford his product, and that's fine. The flip side of that is, if it's his real passion, he doesn't like flying, and maybe he does. Maybe he likes having the two jobs, and again, that's fine. In which case, you don't mention it; you just do it for a bit of fun. But it's definitely a self-limited belief to think that I can't make a living out of doing this. There's no reason to believe that, because there are people out there doing exactly that, and maybe you can do, maybe you can charge, do the odd special guitar at 50 grand or whatever, and then maybe whatever, just to, because airline pilots are actually paid pretty poorly. I've worked with 4 or 5 now, and it kind of, the first time I heard it kind of shocked me, but they don't earn great money. So that was it really. I mean, sounds like a nice guy that he wants to make them available to.
It's very cool. Actually, I've heard that when some pilots have a second job. Have you heard about that? They are pilot and they are paid so crappy that they have a second job as well.
Yeah.
So
whereas if they'd been a pirate, if they were pirates, they wouldn't need a second job because it'd just be.
So I know what you said, but there's something in me which is, and I know this side of me which I'm maybe a socialist right now. Maybe I don't like money too much. Fuck. I don't like money.
We just lost 2 out of our 3 listeners.
Oh, shit. Do you want that all the listener wants to become rich and famous? I think they need to listen to Tim Robbins, like unleash the giant within also.
Tim Robbins? He's the actor. Do you mean Tony Robbins?
Tony Robbins, sorry.
Tim Robbins was in Shawshank Redemption, wasn't that Tim?
Oh, that was a good movie as well.
It was a good movie. It's a movie that everybody loves, Shawshank Redemption. I've never heard anybody say, that was shit.
Was it like, yeah. No, so Tony Robbins. No, but I have some issues with when people wants to come and wants to become rich, and I want to do some money, and I'm not sure that coaching is the right fit. Actually, is it more mentoring? And I'm remember this guy that I listened in London Real, another podcast, and his name is Dan Pina, and you can check the podcast in London Real. And this guy,
how do you spell that?
Dan Pina, so Pena, Dan Pina.
Okay.
He's a mentor and a coach. He says mentor coach, and he's charged his seminars. I think it's $15,000, $10,000 a week. I don't know. I don't remember exactly, but. And apparently it's all about making money and about succeeding, and he's very arrogant, very, very strict. His workshop are in a castle, and he mentioned when he was young he was going to Rolls-Royce dealerships, and he didn't have the money to buy a Rolls, but he was just in the 20s, and he had to smell the leather of the Rolls-Royce and just to get accustomed, and to be famous and rich, to be attracted by that. And he bought his first Rolls-Royce at 25. I don't remember that. But so to be honest, when I hear these people, and with so much assurance and talking about money and making money and that's it. And this is what you need to do. There's an unease. There's a feeling of this is doesn't sound right to me. It doesn't sound right the way that is delivered. I don't know. That's maybe me and my values. I guess that's my values here. But it's that's it. I don't know where I'm going anyway. But,
you went somewhere. I don't know where you went, but no, Is you're probably not surprised to hear. I agree entirely. Yeah, it's just that's the whole. I think I was first exposed to this through Jack Canfield, not Jack Cornfield.
We need to talk about this one.
We'll come back to that.
Yeah.
So people will have
because
no
I think
idea
we
why
can
we're laughing. But
I think we can link to that actually with our conversation.
Okay, so Jack Canfield, and his book Success Principles, which I actually thought was quite a good book. There's some interesting stories in it. He lost me a little bit when he went on The Secret, and he uses just ridiculous high pressure marketing tactics now that I don't feel comfortable with. But he does this seminar once or twice a year or whatever, or he used to. I don't know if this is still the case. And the last day would be come as you are in 5 years party or whatever. So basically you would dress up about the person you want to be. So that's wealthy, maybe you've retired and you live on a beach, so you're going beach wear or whatever. So it's the whole as if frame, NLP. And what he was doing there. And you hear stories like that, and then people think, I just need to go and sniff leather seats on Rolls Royces, try and avoid getting arrested, and I will have a Rolls Royce. But, for every one person that does that kind of thing, there's probably 100 that did it and fuck all happened. I'm with you in terms of anything that's driven primarily by the desire to acquire wealth and materialistic stuff is doomed to failure in many respects. People see others, and I'm sure you've had this as a coach, where, they look at other people's lives and think, well, they've just got it so nailed on. But often I've worked with people like that everybody thinks they've got it nailed on. And they're often the most insecure, dissatisfied. I wouldn't say, I wouldn't say unhappy, but there's just this underlying dissatisfaction with their lives, you know. So you get the one person that like never got any positive feedback from the parents maybe, and there's this constant desire to do better and better. There's somebody else that maybe had no money when they were younger, and it's just like to acquire more and more. Anything that's more and more and more, or has a number attached to it, you know, kind of like it is destined to lead to unhappiness, because you can't ever meet it. So people might tell you, I've got a goal to earn $1 million and then I'll be happy. And they hit the $1 million, it's like, fuck, no, I meant $2 million.
Why not?
Sorry.
Exactly.
Yeah. And there's a Bob Marley quote, and I'm not going to attempt it now because I'll just bastardize it. But basically he says about, you know, if you're chasing a number, that number will always grow bigger and you will never get there. And it was, it's nailed on. You know, it's...
But I you know what, I agree with you. Shit, I need to.
I know.
We need to.
Twice we agree with each other. We need to get a guest in to polarize us.
You know, I was looking at the website of Jack Canfield, sorry, and you know, it's almost, you know, it's very judgmental. I shouldn't do this. I should be very compassionate and accepting.
Yes, you should.
I should, but when I look at that,
the devil, do it.
You look at the guy, and with this smile and this suit and this tie and this, to me, it represents the system of the brainwashing, and call it as you want. But I've been on this path myself. You know, I had kind of successful career, if you want. I'm still in a big company actually, and that was this kind of principle that was guiding me. And if anybody listen to this podcast, you can go to jackcanfield.com, and you will see the guy, you know, with a big smile, bleached white teeth, and very cool, and almost okay. I'm yeah.
Cool.
Look at me.
Cool.
I'm.
Hang on. Very cool. Would you describe him as cool?
Not cool. It's just. No, you're cool. But it's kind of a coolness of, okay, look, this is a rich guy, and you, my friend, you have to be rich, because this is what, you know, you're born to. You need to have a nice job. You need to have a career. You need to have, you know, you need to have your diplomas. You need to have your wife. You need to have your kids and your car and your house and your second condo. And that was the system that I was brought on, you know, and there's a constant fear. And I remember my parents, they were saying, okay, you need to study hard. You need to study hard, because it's not easy out there. You know, it's not easy. You need to be ready, and you need to be the best, and you need to do this, and you need to do that. And I've kind of gotten to the point of here today. Well, I'm not actually, I'm not that rich, but I'm in Dubai, right? I lived in on the Palm, and I had a beach access with a swimming pool and all this kind of shit.
You can afford to spend $3,000 on a guitar.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Anyway, so I'm a rich. No, I'm not rich. I'm a spoiled guy. But
hypocrite?
Hypocrite, yeah, hypocrite, or whatever shit. But I'm aware of that actually, but something happened, you know, and that's about, you know, 4 years ago, when I learned that my son was autistic, you know, my second son, my youngest son, and suddenly all this system that I had, this belief system, just shattered, and just and other stuff happened to me, and at the same time. And you know, if we are in a kind of Buddhist things, you would say, well, there's the universe that you know, try to tell you something anyway, but. And all this, I suddenly said, this system of belief that I had for so long, that says, okay, you need to be successful, you need to have your career, you need to be this and that and that. Suddenly, I wasn't happy with that anymore. I was looking for something which is more meaningful and real, and contacts and connection. And money was the least of my worry. The least. It was just like, shit, this is not what I need right now. I need something else. I was meant to say more here. See that? This is something wrong. I wanted something different. And something that we're actually doing right now. Something which is a bit more meaningful, I guess. Even if it's shit, by the way. Even if it's shit.
Yeah. And this is, at the end of we're going to be docking at some point if we carry on like this. But I'm just saying, I agree with that as well. There's stuff. If anybody doesn't know what docking is, don't Google it, especially if you're at work. But I agree, and to me, the Jack. And I want to back up and explain the in joke between me and Olivier before. So Olivier sent me a link to a really cool interview with Jack Cornfield with a K. Cornfield, yes.
Okay.
Jack Cornfield's a Buddhist teacher. His audio, The Inner Art of Meditation, is one of my favourites of all time. He's just got such a gentle personality about him. He's almost like the antithesis of me, which is probably why I'm attracted to him. In terms of that, he calms me down. You can't listen to him without. At one point, the interviewer was talking about going on Big Sur, and Big Sur just is amazing. The drive down Pacific Coast Highway from San Francisco down to LA when you go through Big Sur, it's amazing. He said, I was there and it was amazing, and I wasn't even stoned. And Jack Cornfield just didn't just bat an eyelid. He said, and it's just I don't want to try and do his laid back sort of Eastern accent or Eastern US accent, saying, he said, Big Sur will do that. You'll get stoned just being at Big Sur for being at Big Sur, because it is what it is. So basically, Olivier had sent me this email saying we should interview this guy, and I'd misread it. I thought, because we'd spoken about Jack Canfield in the past, I thought it was going to be an interview with Jack Canfield. So I clicked through, I listened to that, and then I sent an email to Olivier. I said, what we should do is we should get Jack Cornfield on the programme, and me think it's Jack Canfield, and I'd be giving him shit all the way through about his materialism or whatever. And at the end of it, Olivier could come in and explain, no, this is Jack Cornfield, the Buddhist teacher. I thought that was a great idea for a podcast. And I'm pretty sure Jack Cornfield strikes me as somebody that's got a great sense of humour as well. Did you not get that impression with him?
And that's, do you know Ram Dass?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Of course, you know Ram Dass. But all these guys they have this sense of humor, all of these, and that, married it with this Buddhism and stuff that she explained. Well, she didn't explain that much actually last week because of you, and I will come back to that. Okay. But I like their humor, It's just they're just very gentle, but it's also very little bit sarcastic as well, just like, oh, really? Just like they try to put.
So you thought money would make you happy?
Yeah,
that's
really.
Explain that one to me then. Yeah.
They're holding a little bit the people, and I like that. It's just like it's almost they let people fail and discover and have the experience, and they just bear behind and they say, see, and just gently holding everything, just making sure that, and I love that.
I've got to tell you a story about Ram Dass. I'm sorry to butt in, but there's a book out there, and I got sent this copy of this book about 2 or 3 years ago to review. I think it was published on Harvard Press, and it was called the Harvard Social Club. I think it was called that. And basically, it was about the time in the late 60s, and it involved Ram Dass, and I forget what his original name was now. And I'm sure
Richard Alpert.
Right. Okay. Yes. Thank you. Okay. There was him. Timothy Leary came into it at some point. Oh, I don't think he was there. Maybe even Robert and Tom Wilson, I can't remember now, but basically, so there was all these people at Harvard. It was almost, when you get like this perfect storm, it's a little bit like Cambridge in the mid to late 60s at Cambridge University, where you had these 6 individuals in John Cleese, Michael Palin, Graham Chapman, Terry Gilliam, Eric Idle, and the other guy whose name nobody can ever remember.
I don't know.
I'll think about it. So suddenly you've got these 6 comedy geniuses all at university at the same time, all performing in Cambridge spotlights that came together. A little bit like, the Beatles. It's just like you got these 4, or maybe 3, maybe 2. But the fact that it all came together, it was like a perfect storm. So you got at Harvard Social Club. You got these people that all 4 of them went on to be serious leading lights in different aspects, however you look at it. But there's a great story about Ram Dass, and the whole book is amazing because they were taking a lot of acid. They genuinely believed it was the door to God, that when they were doing this, they were doing it. So this was going on. You can't believe as little as like 40 years ago or ever that Harvard University were kind of like not necessarily endorsing it or promoting it, but certainly turning a blind eye to it. And they were doing all these experiments. But the funniest one was when Ram Dass and a friend of his, I can't remember who it was now, they'd heard that the best mushrooms, for hallucinogenic mushrooms, were in Mexico. And they hired a plane to fly down to Mexico. And neither of them had a pilot's license. And the guy who flew, and I don't think it was Ram Dass, I think it was his friend, he'd had something like 3 or 4 flying lessons in his life. They decided to hire a plane to fly to fucking Mexico to get high. It's just like, you just wonder how some of these people live through it. It's like you look at people like, who's the guy in the Stones? Not Bill Wyman, he's the straight one. Keith Richards. And you just think, how are you still alive? How did you do that? So these guys were like, and you got Timothy Leary off on one side, developing ecstasy, and just like doing loads of experiments with MDMA and all that kind of stuff. And it's just, I don't know if those kind of characters exist anymore. I hope they do. I hope we're going to be reading about them in 20, 30 years and we just, just like at that time you wouldn't have known, well, Ram Dass wasn't called Ram Dass and, they weren't as well known. But it's just like, you look back at stuff like that and they gradually came to the realization that they were just into drugs and it had nothing to do with God or whatever. But but I find that so fascinating. It's just like that independent spirit, that like, fuck it, we're going to try this. We're going to take this. It may not work. We may die, but you know what? Do you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
No, it makes real sense. But it depends who you talk to, by the way, because Timothy Leary was very much is still into drugs, and well, he was.
He's dead.
Yeah, no, he's not. When I say still, he was into drugs. Ram Dass was, he didn't do it after that. With his experiments when he met his spiritual teacher over there, but there was a sense of freedom. I can hear what you said. There was this freedom of being adventurous, and not being. And I'm going to what Jack Cornfield said during this great podcast he did with Duncan Trussell. Duncan Trussell is a comedian, but is a very spiritual guy as well. So check this podcast with Jack Cornfield. Jack Cornfield mentioned the body of fear. Do you remember that when he said that? The body of fear. And it seems to me this is where we are all today in our society. There's fear. It means that this primal, instinct that he mentioned that's good for survival, but are we just close to everything and we are just, okay, that's it. This is what I will do. I will just work, and I wouldn't accept any other ideas. I will just and I wouldn't try anything. I won't change. I won't. It's just. And this is what I feel today, and I don't think it's working. By the way, I think there's a huge aspiration for something else, because if you look around, we are in 2014. Did we reach this happiness, or did we reach this? Okay, this is we had all this technology, and where are we today? So, and I think this spirituality, this gentleness or compassion and all this vulnerability that Jack Canfield mentioned in this podcast, I think this is the way. It's not something which will come from outside, with like these microphones which are very phallic again, or this. I think the work actually has to come from inside. It has to come from us.
Yeah.
But this is not told. This is not okay. No. Get your money, and that's it. Get your money, get your career, and that's it. And the only perspective, if we can offer this different perspective with this podcast, which is offer this, okay, look, there's a different voice, there's a different tone. It's a small voice, by the way. Nobody listens, but at least we're making a little bit of noise. And to say, well, can we think of something else outside with this Fox News and why am I mentioning Fox now? Fox News.
I don't know, but you pronounced it really accurately. With your
like
French accent, yeah.
Fox News.
Yeah, basically.
But let me come back to something. When we did this the podcast with Meredith, I was actually pissed off. I was pissed off at you. Because you did what you do best. You're extremely smart and funny, and you come with all this with your mind. It's very quick. It's very, very well done. But
I talk too much.
Yeah, that's what I felt is shit. She's a guest, and we should let her speak. This is basically kind of things, and I was extremely pissed off. I was just like shit, nobody will come there. Nobody will be with us. Nobody will. And see, now I'm talking too much now, but but then I listened back to this John Canfield, and exactly what you said with this gentle voice, with just. And say, shit, that's my body of fear. This is the fear that we won't go nowhere. We won't achieve anything. That's the fear of failing, basically. That's the fear that was there, and that's this just tight in there. And I say, shit, no. We're trying to do something else, and we're trying to find a way, and that's it. So I have to say. I'm sorry to have been pissed off at you, because actually I like what you do. I like what you do.
Well, let me come in with that, because I think you're probably right. And when you sent me that email, I'm not as professional as you. I have not listened to the audio back. It's just like
I'm not professional.
No, I know you're not really. I was just picking you up. I've written 9 books. I've never read one of them since they came out. I just don't go back over my stuff. I find it not painful. It's just I find that I've always got other things to do. I think possibly one of the issues with that is that Meredith is more like a friend. So I think I was, let me be honest. I think maybe, I don't think maybe. I think you were right. I think I probably did talk too much, and I think that's a combination. And I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying there is a combination of being dead excited. I love doing this. Anybody that listens to this, yes, I have had about 2/3 of a glass of wine today, but this is the first time I've drunk on this podcast, so I'm just dead enthusiastic about it and love it. And I think I just want to talk. And because I know her so well and know how laid back she is, I knew that she would be cool about that. Although, having said that, did I ever think about that at a conscious level? Probably not, to be fair. Probably it was a little bit ego-driven, if I'm going to be honest. It's my pain body, as Eckhart would say. But I just want to go back to a couple of things. First of all, one of the reasons. So we spoke last week about my atrocious attempt. I'm not even sure atrocious is a strong enough word to describe my attempt to get James Altucher on the program. Where basically I said to him, I asked him to go on the program, and I said, what's in it for you? Probably fuck all, if I'm being honest. And I was trying to be honest, and I was trying to use a little bit of humour. But I love the guy because he breaks the mold, because of his honesty, because of how he does it. The same with Jack Cornfield. Jack Cornfield, I don't know if this was his last book. It's certainly his last book that I read, which is Bringing the Dharma Back Home. And he tells a story. Oh God, I hope it was in that book and not in. I hope it wasn't in another book of his.
That's fine.
Anyway,
that's fine.
It's a story where he was nodding off during meditation, and his meditation teacher made him sit on the edge of this well all night to meditate. And obviously, all of a sudden, you're alert and you're involved in the meditation, because if you're not, then you're going to pitch head first down and I can only presume it was a bottomless well, because I grew up with Scooby-Doo and they had bottomless wells and things like that. But certainly very deep, enough to do some serious damage. But going back to what you're saying, I think you're right. I think it's just an element of, and I think that's probably why I appeal to it. This gentle humour, just like, without really saying anything, just helping you to think about what you just said. It's just like, really. Sometimes that can be really funny. Really, it's just like, seriously, are you fucking with me or what? Do you really believe that? I'm not saying that Jack Cornfield's ever said anything specifically like that, but that approach, I would love to get him on here.
Oh yeah,
I'd love to get Altush on it, because I really like him as well, and I really fucked us over with that. I really should have done a better email. It just seemed like a good idea at the time, and he seemed to me like he got a great sense of humour in that. And maybe he's just too busy, and maybe he's actually.
I wouldn't say it's over, to be honest, because I think we can recover this. I think it's recoverable.
You can email James. Tim's a mental patient that is trying to help me out with running this serious podcast. I tasked him with the job of emailing you and saying, James, we would love to have you on the show, etc. He kind of went a little bit out of his remit. He freestyled it a bit too much. That could work. Yeah, it could. Just like mutually assured destruction could work. Let's all have loads of nuclear weapons, and therefore nobody will ever bomb the shit out of everybody. But I'm dubious. Anyway, we'll see.
But you what would I say? When I've looked at your email, I've it looks like
the ramblings of a madman.
No, not at all. It's just. It's just almost like you have to prove that you are at the same level as him. It's just like, okay, look, I'm smart as you. I'm smart as you. And I believe actually that you're smart as him. But it's just like to prove that we are part of the same club. We are okay. Look, and there's this kind of competition, I guess, and this is where we have today. It's kind of this competition that everyone has to compete with each other, and we have to win, and we have to, and see how much this Jack Cornfield thing just changed me, because I say, shit, no, compassion, go back to something which is real, true, connect with people. And maybe this is the way. Instead of showing this very, okay, we're smart, we are funny, we are at your level, you'll be at home. It's just to say, look, man, this is it's not professional really, but we really interested by you, and because everything that James Altucher said is not for education. Like it is against for his, I think he has kids, but his kids go into a normal education systems. He wants them to be really educated by life, themselves, and have their own experience, and there's this free university and stuff. All what he says, all use failure and all these things, that resonates so much with me. That's so real, as you said, and so authentic, and this voice. And I'm sure it doesn't need us to make his voice heard, actually, to be honest. But if we can, have him and to say, look, we are part of this community as well. We believe everything that you say. We are with us, Anyway, so I don't know. One beer and I'm gone, actually.
Yeah, you obviously are. Yeah, because I mean I certainly don't want to. And I know you didn't mean this. I don't want to go down the almost the, I don't want to deify the guy or deify the guy.
Oh yeah.
Sure. Whatever. The reason I like him is because he shows his vulnerability, and he's not afraid to say, you know what, I was, one of the reasons I like Body Pashka, who was, or still is a friend of mine, definitely still is a friend of mine, but who introduced me to Buddhist teachings and who taught me how to meditate, is the fact, I can remember the one defining moment. And I booked to do the first course I ever did with him. I've done several since, including a retreat. We're doing another retreat next year, and I'm also trying to get him down to Orlando to do a retreat. But one of the things was, we sat down for meditation, and his first words were, I've been stressed this week. And I was like, thank fuck for that. You're a human being. Yeah. Now, I'm not sure, I'm sure there are people, within the Buddhist community, well, I'm not sure, the enlightened or whatever, that don't feel stress. But if there are, then there's such a tiny minority, and it was so reassuring. So to me, I see him, and I don't mean to appear arrogant with this, but I see him almost like a Buddhist version of me as a life coach. Because as a life coach, I'm prepared to say, you know what, today fucking sucked. This happened and this happened, and I was stuck on the phone with AT&T for an hour, and my mortgage company told me that I could refi my house, and now they've changed my mind. And all this sort of stuff, and it's dead easy, because that's part and parcel of life. It's just life. Yeah. And to deny that, so one of the things that bugs me with life coaches is, look at me, my life's great, and if you hire me, your life could be great too. Well, maybe the life is great, and maybe your life could be great, but that great doesn't equal problem-free. It doesn't equal being divorced from stress and angst and all the things that cause suffering in life, because they are part of life. And there's no getting away from that. So that's why I gravitate towards people like Body Pashka, James Altucher, Jack Cornfield, and I could go on. If I got memory longer than a goldfish, I could name probably 10 other people if you gave me like an hour to research it, But that's the kind of thing. It's just like, this is life. Why are so many people denying what life is? And part of that denial is in the acquisition of wealth, as if like, and I think we may have touched on this before, but everybody gets that money doesn't deliver happiness once you take people out of abject poverty. Okay, everybody gets that, but they only get it for other people. They think they're different, that the rules aren't the same for them. But if they get that flash car, that Mercedes SLK, or if they get that house with the 2 extra bedrooms that they're never going to need, we bought this out. Oh, we'll leave an extra bedroom for when when my parents come over. Really? They've been over once. We've lived here 2 years. We could have fucking put them in the Ritz-Carlton, in a suite, and still saved money on what we spent extra on this house just because we needed an extra bedroom. That sounds like I'm bitching at my wife.
No.
Helen, I love you. Go on.
See, you're full of love. But I don't think that's... I don't think that this...
Else.
Oh,
I'm full of shit. I mean,
I don't think so. I like actually this talk. Actually, I like that because there's still the humor, but also there's the more vulnerable side of you as well, which is there, which is there. When you said that you're not that, no. Actually, you are, And I replied to your email because I know how you write. When you write your email as a reply, when I told you maybe you took too much, and I tried to be very gentle, and then you sent me this big email with like 100 fuck you and stuff like that. And behind all that, I say, yeah, I know, yeah, it's basically his way to apologize or to say sorry.
I think anybody would have to read that email. I mean, that was incredibly tongue-in-cheek. It was basically, it went along the lines of "fuck you, French boy, fuck Altucher for not responding to my name, fuck life, fuck," and it was just basically a whole lit of fuck this, fuck this, fuck this. And I may have ended by saying, yeah, you may have a point.
And but the way that when you say all this, I say, I'm just like,
Oh God, you're psychoanalyzing me now.
No, come on, man. I'm the worst. But when you say that people think that they are the exception with money, that they will make it, they will be happy because with money. I don't think this is. I think that I may be wrong, and I'm surely wrong about that.
Yeah.
But I don't think that they have any other model to
Reference
look at.
point. Yeah.
Or reference.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
there's no other reference point. And if you present them Jack Cornfield to them right now, if you say, okay, this is Jack, listen to him, I can bet you after 2 minutes they will be like because it's so different, it's so apart from all the bullshit that they hear constantly around. Everything, this model of success, when somebody tells you, well, you can stop, you can stop all this and just look, and just by I think that you can have a very strong reaction and just don't want to look at that and just don't want to think. I just want to have something which is very easy, very easy, something that and that's it. And I don't think that it's anybody. Look how arrogant I sound now. I don't think that it's anybody. I think it's fucking arrogant what I'm just saying, because
hang on. Anybody that listens, unless this is the first one they listen to, and even if it's the first one they've listened to, they probably already realise I'm the arrogant one of the two. So carry on.
Well, no, I'm as well, but. What I was oh shit, you butt in again, and then I'm losing everything. So I have 2 seconds. I have 2 seconds. No.
Oh, okay.
So I think this is what it is, and I think we need to expand this. I think we need to get Jack and Ramdas and all these other voices around. Just to pass the bullshit wall, this wall of bullshit where there's only one way, and this one way is materialistic success, money, and that's it. And then what? And then you die.
Well, I'll tell you what the most important thing is. Okay?
Yeah?
The most important thing is, while we're videoing this webcam, you don't put your arms in the air again, living in Dubai, so we can see the big fucking sweat patches under him. Yes, look at that. Now, the ladies might like the pheromones or whatever. For me, yeah, not so much. I'm going to go back to what you said about, people don't have a reference point. I think people absolutely do have a different reference point. I think the subtlety in that is they don't have an acceptable reference point. So this to them, to a lot of people, and I think we're changing this. I think the work of people, not just Jack Canfield, but there's Jack Canfield. Fucking hell, sorry, I know. I've just shot myself in the foot. I've shot myself in both feet with one bullet. I actually taped them together first, so I managed to get both feet. Jack Canfield, but there's a lot of other people. Going back to John Kabat-Zinn, and it's changing. I think it's changing. I still think too in this country, and I don't mean to be, to lump a whole group of people together. I genuinely don't. But I think Middle America as a term still finds it difficult to come to terms with. But I think on the peripheries of that, I think as a coach, I can talk to people about meditation now, and I couldn't 5 years ago. I'm saying I couldn't. For the most part, I couldn't. Now most people are open to it. The fact, when Google start bringing in meditation trainers, now it doesn't matter in terms of the fact that it's done for material gain, because they know that it can improve the bottom line because people are more productive. Yeah, exactly. But for our purposes, that really doesn't matter. It's kind of like meditation's suddenly a little bit cooler. And we can have conversations that we couldn't have had before. Now, if people get into it because they think it's going to make them more productive, then whereas I don't think that's necessarily the best motivational factor, I don't really mind, because it's like, well, let's suppose you've got somebody who's a kleptomaniac. They can't stop stealing stuff. Now, does it matter how you stop them stealing stuff in terms of what the motivation is? You could say the motivation is, well, you're going to go to prison. Or you could say the motivation is, well, you know what, your kids are going to be disappointed in you. And this is a poor analogy now that I'm regretting halfway through it. But the matter is, you want to stop them continuing anything that's sort of self-destructive. And not meditation. I'm not saying that if you don't meditate, then you're a self-destructive pattern of behavior. I don't mean that at all. But it's the flip side. So it can there are so few downsides to meditation, and so just a ridiculous amount of upsides. I mean, the research is getting embarrassing to the point where it's just like, holy shit! Okay, so it can make you a better guitar player. Well, I better tell Olivier. But no, I mean, I'm being over the top. But
a better lover as well.
Yes. I wonder why my wife kept dropping meditation books in front of me. And why she invited Buddy Pascal and Meredith to come down and you need to get this fucker.
Shit, ask her now. Okay, is it you? Okay.
Yeah. So,
but I have a question for you. Actually, are you still meditating? Are you doing this like regularly on everyday basis?
Every day. I think I've missed like one day in the last couple of months, 50, 60 days, and then I forgot, which was really annoying. I just forgot. Real. And I was actually nodding off to sleep, and it was like about 5 to 12 or something like that, and I remembered. And I was like, do I want to do like a 3 or 4 minute meditation? And I just thought, no, that's just doing it for the sake of doing it. It wouldn't be meaningful, but no, I do it. And I want over next year, one of my goals is to extend my meditation practice. So I usually do 20 minutes or 30 minutes, but I'd like to take that up to 45, maybe even an hour a day.
So will you become like Meredith? Maybe like a meditation?
No.
No, you don't want to do that?
I won't. No. It's just that I'm not necessarily saying I don't want to do it, but there's people that are more qualified to do it than I am. People that, I want to make it part of my life, and I want it to make it available to clients that hire me, but I don't want it to be why they hire me, if that makes sense. So, there's people far better equipped to teach this than I am.
I have something to say. You know what? You should have always a glass of wine during our conversation. I think it works very well.
Oh, am I more amusing when I've had alcohol? Thank you very much. Yeah. Before up to now, this is our 4th or 5th podcast. I don't know. Before up to now, fuck me, you were boring. Now you've had half a glass of wine, and I actually enjoy talking to you, and you have something interesting to say. Well, unfortunately, until you move to a country that's got a more sensible time zone, this is probably going to be a one-off, because as a rule, I usually have clients that today is unusual.
But we've talked about switching, that I will be in the morning and you'll be at
but it will be like midnight. There's one thing having me on having half a glass of wine. There's another thing having me on when I'm fucking hammered. Not that I get hammered very often these days, but that would be quite funny. Where I've done a bottle and a half of wine. And like, fuck you, Frenchy boy. Yeah. And Napoleon. A fucking Napoleon. Short man syndrome. Yeah, we kick that. Just remember Trafalgar and the Battle of Waterloo. God, we got sick of kicking the French's ass.
Oh God,
but now I'm not like that, because I see all human beings as the same, except you, except you.
Yeah, you're still not very.
You're French.
Don't talk so much closer to a microphone. You'll make explode everything.
I was doing it for dramatic effect. I thought it might sound more, I thought it might sound more demonic.
Can I say something? I will tell a story, because of the site is up, basically, the raw voices podcast.com, and I've put the first episode over there. And I worked with your web designer, Chris, the guy who created your website. and he helped me to put everything into place for iTunes and Stitcher and all this stuff. So he guided me. I had a conversation through Skype, and I had to basically enter whatever shit to make it into iTunes. And at some stage, there was like a question to categorize the podcast. I had to categorize the podcast.
Is there a bullshit category?
And I said, oh, shit, what can I do? And I was just like, And then he said, well, because he heard us, because he heard the first episode, and he said, comedy? And I said, yeah, okay, comedy. And then we go to another things, and he said, I will tick adult content as well, explicit adult content. And I said, yeah, okay, tick that as well.
What are you talking about?
And it's all because of you, man.
Oh, I see. So we're playing the blame game now, are we? I get it.
But that was a compliment, man. It's all because of you. We're comedy, and we can swear like as we want.
I don't like, I don't like to think of this as comedy. Seriously, I don't. I think.
No, I don't.
I think it's more. It is difficult to define, for sure. But I think for comedy, you've got to sit down with the intent to be funny. I don't think either of us sit down with the intent. None of us. One of the things I said to James Altusher in the email was, we don't do any fucking preparation for this. You're just gonna have to tip up and we'll see what happens. I don't think about trying to be funny, and I know you don't think about trying to be funny because you never are. So, no, but seriously, it's just like it's kind of, to me, this is like having a chat with a mate in a pub on a Friday night after a couple of beers. It's not comedy. It's very funny to us, and I'd love it if other people enjoyed it. And here we go. But bear in mind, hang on, before you start.
Keep talking.
This is like me and you having a conversation in a pub on a Friday night where guitars are banned. So.
Please, keep talking. It's for dramatic effect, just because I can see the.
What can you do? What kind of? How can you? Because we should be at the end, so we need an outro. What could the outro be? It should be.
No.
I wish I would be like David Watts. He is.
Now I know this fucking song.
He is so gay. I think it even says he is so gay and fancy free, and I wish I could have all he has got. I wish I could be like David Watts.
You rock, man.
I don't know if I said this at the time, but that was written by Ray Davies of the Kings.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Jam covered it. Yeah.
Actually, I've looked it in Wikipedia when I looked like very foolish because I didn't know the Jams. But anyway, so that's
the
me.
Jams, or even the Jam.
The Jam.
Do you know the Jam were the first bands after the Beatles to have a single go from outside the charts straight to number one.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's done all the time now with downloads and shit like that. But at the time. You
should put that on your website, that your musical shit, man. You should. That's so cool that I've learned that you own a record store. That's so cool, man.
Yeah, we should make a whole thing where we talk about music. But mainly I was into dance music, and I get all Anaraki. So just Anaraki. So I'd be out at clubs. So I used to take a lot of ecstasy, to be quite honest. And
really?
Yeah. I used to be clubbing. Not every weekend, but probably 2 or 3 weekends a month. So because we own the store and we sell a lot of vinyl to DJs, I'd always get free tickets to parties and stuff and clubs. And but I was a nightmare to go with because we were getting like white labels in. The white label and acetate is, so for anybody listening, that's the version that the record companies send out initially. Well, the acetate's the first one. You don't see many of those, and then you get a white label before, just to get feedback. So I'd be listening to all these white labels and stuff, and we'd be in clubs and a DJ would drop a record and they'd start coming in. People go, I'd be going, this is such and such, and it's the Fatboy Slim remix that was done, not the first remix. And I just kill the mood, basically. But to me, it would be great. Yeah, I know exactly what this is. So I was a real sad fucker when it came to things like that.
We need to talk about psychedelics because this is what will happen to me in the next month in December. I will have my psychedelics. I'm going to Brazil. Remember, I will take some drugs in Brazil. We need to talk about that next week.
You need to get some frogs and lick their backs. Lick the frogs. Oh, jeez, that was fucking disgusting.
I know.
He just took his tongue out at me.
Yeah, but you have a video, right? You'll send me a video.
Yeah.
I don't.
Anyway, listen. I've actually got I've got an interview to do for a real one, not this shit.
Yeah, like a very famous one. Please try to be very square in your interviews, right? Try to.
I'll try.
Thank you, man.
No, thank you. And thank you for thanking me. And I know that you want to thank me for thanking you for thanking you.
Okay, fuck you. Fine.
I think you should send this to James Altusher with an apologetic email saying, ignore my... I feel like... Have you ever seen Dirty Rotten Scoundrels with Ruprecht? Steve Williams playing the Ruprecht character who's like you have to keep him locked up in the cellar. He's completely inappropriate. And I feel like Ruprecht that I blew the chance. And we should also add Jack Cornfield. And then we should get on Jack Canfield. And now, the thing is, if Jack Cornfield ever listens to this, he's not going to come on now knowing that we're going to take the piss out of Jack Canfield. I'm getting my Jacks mixed up. Yeah.
Be compassionate. We need to, even if we have a Jack, the Canfield one, the Confield.
Jack Confield, as I call him. Podcast, yeah.
So we need to be very gentle with him.
I think when you come over to America, we should go to a retreat with Jack Cornfield. That's actually on my bucket list. I was going through his site yesterday thinking, does the guy do any... But the thing is, he does. You're right. Not fucking Florida, he doesn't. He goes to places like Maui and California and places where people are a bit more progressive. Florida here, it's like, there's a Jack Cornfield retreat up the road. Let's go fucking kill him. That's probably the response you get around here. Where did I put my white pointy hat? Yeah. Goddamn. Whatever. Anyway.
Man.
Yes. Okay. Take it easy, mate. You have a good weekend. And,
just send me everything and I will try to mix this up.
I will. Yeah. Make me sound intelligent, please. Thank you very much.
You are.
Take it easy, mate. See you. Bye.
Cheers.